O pen the state, open the say, ate the stated. We are always one link from disaster, blinking the clouds top the mountains like thought, bubbles from the earth, with the silhouette of a person crossing above the road, some wearing a reality backdrop, terminus, and beginning, eventually, the body forgets how to swallow. The mirror in every eye shaving reality drops behind its work zone sign, blinking cream true. What roots we bury, do runners believe, as they edge along the fields, geese rope to the sky, a pitch toward its beginning and terminus. The body crosses above a freeway, hovering, not walking really. Clouds drop back from themselves, capping the disappearance from which version of the mountainous earth, no longer thinking in pale and paler puffs above the ground, below how we run together through this distant setting toward any ending, be it work in the dirt, and all our lungs, languages, arising felt when we quieted the water tanks with our guns full in them, air-filled things in our chest, cavities. It has become morning, a cave, loud against all this. Judgment of places and shapes the trains bowl past us, little wheels in their minds, heaving through time. Stop another setting for a storm, a castle for the curves. We swear our bodies won't inhabit when empty. The dead trees shadow and reappear against the mountain lumber sign, a sigh and smoke, and the shape of planks of many buildings, us heaving back against the wood and piles like it's simply a backdrop, not something once living. We play our parts, again the shadow of a form crossing above us and the dirt of our bodies below. A blooming of night jasmine in your sinus cavity. This is what's wrong with America, a series of cracks in the pavement and the pavement itself. Ghosts don't recognize letters or names or the smells associated with the sounds our bodies make. A bruise in the night doesn't look like anything aside from crying. When the rent is due, we put our checks in our mouths and ask forgiveness. The later hours are not going to remember what penance was paid to flowers or how another season arrived wearing its shawl of rain or lack, calling each form by its diminutive, each whole by the shape needed to conduct its completion, a symphony of unnameable things in our periphery. You can almost see your way through a tunnel before the structure gives up. The pain that you thought was owed or you owned or is coming should be worn, draped over the edges. Is there in others, in you? Is there already this world? Wait and it will be gone. When we wear our grief gowns and hair and mats, and the dirt in our shoes files its grievances for our feet being atop it. When we swear our allegiances to the weather inside the walls we draw and color in with fingers so trembly they look like shadows. What whirled in the background was not an engine, was the end of something, a smoke, was the idea of being brought into the past and then nearly forgotten, how the mountain took itself out a while, with the water coursing through it, what the course itself made and became, another word entire. Who says valley and looks to see the parts that are there and not what isn't? When we share the same experience and with what resemble others, I am not imprinted with the hands. They have the broken lines. I swear if my wife disappears, I'll die too. And the way this happens is with time, or if I die too, she'll disappear from me. But the mind stings itself with possible turns that shouldn't ever be taken, and how we try to sleep through the unknown things we're courting, counting the sheep of our days until they've reached the final letter and the final number. It's not despair to know what might be coming, but the world outside mirrors the misspelled calm within. C writes about pulling two pieces of what's shattered together, and who knows what might stick to your skin. Shan talks of the virus as glitter in the lungs from something she read, and when you breathe, we all breathe. It's endless until it isn't. Aside in the predictive middle grounding, we can go anywhere, and you get the money from us now. We will get there to be a good night, to be there in a few days, so I'll be back home in a little while. I can see you later on this afternoon. I'll be home soon as y'all get there. Thanks again. I'll talk y'all tomorrow. I'll see you soon. I'll be sure y'all can probably come back in the next couple minutes or so. I'll call y'all when y'all are careful. Love, love, and and love you and love and miss y'all too. Thought crimes is the size of a bottle of wine coming, settled quickly, can't view anything down for the cough and cough kill us. Some more time, beginning fruit, gold and haptic, you pit the fuse against the fever, and whatever comes back blown is glass or the sand itself. The tight green feeling of possession, what color we set our heads round, and the noise of noises we make. I press arch and hear the rock bellow. I press contour and feel the road shake. It's not that it's easy to be a fiction, just better than the boredom of a life lived already right by the time you've reached it. Some internal mixings. You take what you remember and wear it around until it breaks, until the bends in what could have happened did, and you're another you now. That path quaked to its existential collapse. If we say one word so many namey times, what can you color all your feelings with? A cut bores its edges past the seam you thought was your own edge, and so you spill into another room and time does not recede then. The peril we say is less if together, but do not know what it would mean apart. So knowing is a kind of faith, this. And whatever reality is green and tight feeling is agreed upon as those things, and so we can share portions of this world. How when, in a participatory mood, the flecks of light become our loosest skin set upon each of us like plunder. I'm under the impression, someone says, and we watch the forest floor recede from all memorials. All memory is electrical substantiation. No, one could tell you in difference apart, your final defenses. The streets were aligned with the other streets so, and we settle our bodies in them, winking toward the supple meat they'll become in someone else's dream for us. And we can't let the thought escape before it screens. What is an essence? Floodplain. What is a dogma in the slip of a century's discs? From some distant perspective, our times will not even appear. So who gets busy being born and dying? Root factory in the simple floor plan, misting forms among these thrummed house plants. If a seed were to shed its compliance, if a mystery were to build a train out of circular emotions, we would be riding our own backs to the station. Dig into the uncertainty of what love is or does or how to make a pattern moan. Excitement in the poured milk over eyes of ranters, rangers. Strange the thigh plant, how a chicken once and always is a church to some. In this the mysteries of reason. I've given up on how.